Hello.
Welcome to Consciously Healthy. And today we are going to talk to you about... Oh yeah, I'm Claire.
And I'm Laura.
And we're going to talk to you about being your own heroine or your own Shero. I don't know how to say that. Like a hero,
Shero.
but a Shero. Shero would be a good hero, wouldn't she? Heroine. Yeah, she had good outfits. Her and Wonder Woman. Anyway, where are you at? What have you learnt this week?
We were just talking about this, weren't we? What have I learned this week? I have learned how to automate on MailChimp, which is essentially database management, which has been, we started all of this getting our business online because it's, using this kind of technology is a gorgeous way to get our message out, and doing these podcasts and these videocasts is just such a pleasure. And then we have the technical side on the other end, and that really screws with my noodle. So I've been struggling with that, but I've been learning it. I'm learning it.
That's very impressive.
Why, thank you.
You've never looked hotter.
Oh, why, thank you. What have you learned?
What have I learnt this week? I have learnt that one of my feet doesn't do enough and the other one does too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really interesting.
Need to coordinate more.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Share the workload.
Yeah, so now I've got a load of exercises to try and get my feet to do what they're supposed to do. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
One lazy one over keen one.
Haven't you got eyes like that as well?
One over keen, one really can't be bothered.
Right.
One a bit wonky.
Lovely, that's lovely.
And yet so consciously healthy.
Okay, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about the being your own hero, or Shero.
Yeah.
And this is a great topic. And essentially where this comes from, our desire to talk about it, is one of our steps in living in your full potential. And where it comes from is, we are portrayed so often in the media or on films or, whatever, that the woman needs rescuing by a man or needs rescuing by somebody. So the patriarchal belief is that the woman needs rescuing. You take James Bond or you take Indiana Jones.
Sleeping Beauty,
but I mean, Indiana Jones, how many times did those women scream, oh, Indy, where are you? It just, actually the whole premise of this step is to learn how to not need to be rescued. That's the ultimate thing.
Be your own rescuer.
Be your own rescuer, yeah, absolutely. And actually this comes from something called the hero's journey, which was defined by the gorgeous and wonderful Joseph Campbell, who we just adore, don't we?
Oh, he's such a gorgeous man. You lent me the CD box collection and I've been listening to it in my car, and these interviews were taped in the 70s and 80s, and he's at that stage, I think he's in his 70s and 80s, but he has just such wisdom. And I love this. He was very passionate about myths and how we've lost a lot of myths within modern age and how important they are to us as humans. And I love the hero or the heroine's journey, and I think you're going to go through it, aren't you?
I am indeed. And, this is really important because it's very easy to always be looking for someone else to externally for help, for support, for guidance, for, fix me, fill my bowl with love. And actually, if we start looking at the heroine's journey in terms of our own personal development, then it becomes about us being really whole and seeking the call to adventure without needing somebody else to hold our hand every step of the way.
It can be really scary if we are looking outside of ourselves for someone to rescue us. And I find this particular pathway really liberating.
Yeah, really empowering.
If it's quite girl power, or woman power.
Yeah, woman power.
Yeah.
So the hero's journey starts in the ordinary world. So the heroine's journey starts in the ordinary world. So this is like, life before a wake-up call. And I mean, the ultimate hero's journey is the Luke Skywalker story in Star Wars. So, it starts out with him on Tatooine, thinking that he's all right with his auntie and uncle, but actually he's quite restless and a bit bored. But, making do, putting a brave face on it. And actually this is very common, in our day-to-day lives is, the drudgery of the 9 to 5, relationship that maybe isn't as fulfilling as it could be. Maybe, struggling with parenthood and, the whole parenting isn't as fun as I thought it would be. but I'm just putting on the mask and I'm struggling along and everything's okay. So we're in the ordinary world. And then there's a call to adventure. And that could be anything. It could just be that in our case, it would be maybe that we discovered an alternative health therapy that we went, oh, I really want to do this. I really want to do this.
I found the call to adventure when I first started this journey was my illness.
Yeah, it was for me too. Yeah. And then there's a refusal of the call. So it might be that, in our case, we go, well, we're too ill to actually do anything about this. So
I'm too busy.
Too busy, too ill, no. Or no, it'll rock too many boats, no. So there's a definite refusal of the call. But then there'll be a meeting of a mentor. So it may just be, I have like a little thing which I call my universal law of three, which is if I hear about something like really specifically, a therapist, a therapy, a place to visit, anything, 3 times, that's when I give it a go. So it's not necessarily a mentor, not like, Luke Skywalker met Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's just, it might just be that you have some external guidance that this is a really good path. Mm. And then we cross the threshold from the ordinary world into the unknown world, and it gets really exciting. And in this unknown world, we find allies. So we will start to meet like-minded people who are there to support us. We also meet people who aren't friendly. So we meet some enemies, and and they're there to test us to. So this might be, if we use us training in alternative therapy, be the naysayers, well, that's all rubbish, you don't want to do that.
Or Darth Vader.
I'm
your father. But there's a lesson in there.
But there's a lesson. And then so there are tests as well. So the whole thing is tests, lessons, allies, enemies, learning discernment to find out who's who do I really want to listen to? Because, in the story of the good versus bad, we don't want to listen to the baddies. But actually, as you say, there was wisdom there. So it's always about learning. Yeah. And then we go through an ordeal. And so that could be, like, we consider it like a death and a rebirth. It's not an actual death, as the shaman tradition goes, that they go through like an illusionary death to be reborn. And this could be something like, maybe a divorce, or the serious illness will creep in, or, a massive argument with our partner because we definitely want to, follow a pathway. But from after having that ordeal and the death of the old self, the death of the old ego and the rebirth of the new part of us, we get some kind of reward. Like there is, okay, oh yeah, no, I feel nourished by this. There is, I actually am so prepared to stand up for what I believe in, that yes, I'm on the right path. And this is where we start on the road back. But we come back into this ordinary world a completely changed person. And so it's a little bit like old Bilbo Baggins coming back from his big journey in the Lord of the Rings. I know he was the Hobbit.
Frodo.
Yeah. The Hobbit, wasn't he? So Bilbo came back, but Bilbo was never the same after he came back with the ring. He was always very changed, and he never really fitted into being just a hobbit anymore. And it's the same as being a heroine. We never come back being okay with the mask of illusion and the mask of the veneer of perfection that we had before. There's this element of us that's changed. It's kind of wilder and it's more wise.
Yeah, gorgeous.
And so this is the heroine's journey.
Yeah. I love listening to what Joseph Campbell was saying, because there are people who are left back in the village. There are people who don't feel that call to adventure. But if you have that yearning, that instinct, that feeling that there is something more, that there must be something more than this, then this is when the heroine's journey is calling you. And it doesn't have to be a trip away. It doesn't have to be going somewhere. Actually, we talk about it as a trip within. So it's about finding your guide, finding your path, finding a way to explore the things that are no longer serving you in your life, and really start going into them.
Absolutely.
And you will come back to your ordinary life changed. I just love it.
It is. It's amazing. So my top tip for this is, the greatest journey is the journey, or the 12 inches from your head to your heart space. That's the greatest journey of all, the hardest journey of all. And so my top tip is to learn the signals within yourself. Start to listen to the signals within yourself that tell you that there's a call to adventure, because that never stops. That just keeps going. And what are you know, your messages for your mentors. So is it like my universal law of three? Is it just I get this gut feeling? You know, what are your internal drivers, not from your head, but from somewhere within your body that actually call you into action and give you the courage to move forward?
Gorgeous. Yeah,
Thanks.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think my top tip, and I'm totally nicking this from Joseph Campbell because I heard it this morning and it's really, really resonated with me. It is that the things that you see in your life that you consider as security, so your house, your job, your money, are an illusion, that actually your security will be found in insecurity, because when you are taken out of your comfort zone, then you are stretched to a point where you can take on challenges, and then that creates security within yourself. So I think it's becoming aware of the illusions in your life. And I mean, we all like to have nice homes and jobs and money and everything. It's just recognizing it for what it is.
They are false securities.
False securities. That's what I'm trying to say.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for now. And we look forward to being with you soon. And you can subscribe here.
Thank you. Bye-bye.